Hey guys, this is Northwest Nectar, and today we're looking at the TFV8 on the h-priv. These are both by Smok, whatever you'd like to call them. And let me tell you, it's a pretty sweet setup. So let's see here. Got this this TFV8. And you can see the box that it comes with and stuff there, and we'll get a closer look at the different stuff that's in here. But what I really wanted to focus on as far as vaping it on video is the 8 coil build that's inside of this and how that vapes at different temperatures. They suggest vaping it between 120 and 180 watts, which you'll be able to see on the coil in the close-up when I show you that. But it can go between 50 and 260. It runs at 0.5 or 0.15 ohms. And yeah, it hits like a beast. So, fits the name perfectly. This in here, what I have is the 8 coil, as well as Mitten Vapors. I got Mitten Mill, and they make some of my favorite juice just a couple days ago. This is Baja Splash, 3 milligram, 2 extra flavor shots, as well as Maximum VG. So it's a good juice. So we're going to start this guy out just so you can see a little bit below range. I'm going to start it at 100 watts. Like I said, it's an 8 coil build, 1.5 ohms, and we're going to just let you see how it goes. Kind of describe the flavor and stuff like that so you guys can tell. So that was a 100 watts at 1.2 seconds of pull off of it. And it's pretty decent, you know. It's pretty surprising for a little tank like this. That's pretty good output for being less than even their recommended range. Pretty good. Go ahead and bump it up right now to 120, which is the bottom of their recommended range, and that's it's on there perfect now. 120 watts. So you can see you're getting more of that cloud production in there. It's ending up pretty good. The flavor on both 100 and 120 is really good. I think my optimal sweet spot for myself is 160 watts. That's where I'm getting a lot of flavor and a lot of cloud without it being too warm of a vape to just continuously vape. I mean, I can definitely vape on this thing at 220 without a problem, which is the capacity of this h-priv mod. Two 18650s. I run Samsungs in mine. But yeah, I like it around 160, so I'm not consuming too much electricity, too much juice all the time. It just lasts me longer. So yeah, it's a great one. So here we are at 120, that's the bottom of their minimum range, or their minimum suggested range, it's not minimum. See, you're getting pretty decent cloud. That's again a 1.2 second, I try to keep it pretty consistent that way, with one warm up pull so you can kind of see what you're going to get out of it. Flavor's good, it's definitely there, it's pretty strong. And then I'll bring it up to about 140 here, and let's see. So you're definitely getting better cloud production and more of an intense flavor for sure. You get that real flavor hit out of that. It's still not too warm right there, and that's why I say I like it around 160. That's where you can start to feel it getting warm, but you get a whole lot of flavor and a whole lot of vape. So I'll bump it up there for you guys. You can see where that is. Then after that, I'll bring it up to 220, and you can see that's the maximum for this setup right here. This mod can only go to 220. So at 160, this is what you're looking at. You can see it goes out there quite a ways. Quite a bit of vapor production off of it. Again at the 1.2 second marker on the screen. And 220. You know what, just for a little middle ground there, let's toss it on 85 and then we'll do 220 in case you guys want to kind of see in between there. That's at 185. That's getting quite a bit warmer. Still not uncomfortable. Definitely drains your battery pretty good though. And at the very, let's see here, at the very end we'll do 220. So you can see you're really not going to gain a whole lot more for the amount of battery and juice you're going to burn. Flavor is incredible. It's up there. It definitely doesn't feel too hot to where it's uncomfortable. I just prefer to, you know, be a little bit more conservative with my juice and the battery power, carrying this thing around with me all day. I am an RDA guy. That's how I started out. But the fact of the flavor and the amount you can pull off this with the airflow being wide open, this thing you can literally see through. That's how much airflow there is. I've actually switched over to this as my daily driver on this mod, just because I don't have to drip it anymore. I don't have to worry about, you know, drying out my wick or anything like that. As you can see, it's going to start clouding it up pretty good in here. And this is 220. So it is nice and milky clouds. Yeah, you could even really pull off that longer. And yeah, that's bringing it in there from the range of 100 to 220 watts, and I would definitely suggest this thing. It is an amazing tank. I've never seen one like it. You should definitely pick one up if you can. I mean, I got my whole setup, the tank. Well, the whole tank setup itself is the tank. The two other coils, one of them comes with the pre-built claptons, which you're going to see the closer look of that, and the other one, that's the 4 coil, and that's also a 1.5. I think that one's 80 to 160 suggested or something like that. An extra piece of glass and a whole bunch of spare O-rings and a rubber piece for the filling cap, as well as a drip tip adapter and the crescent wrench and the Allen key. And I got this all for, I think it was like 32 bucks shipped, and that was with expedited shipping too, right when this thing came out. So it's definitely going to be a big hit on the market. Alright, so here you can see it. There it is. TFV8 tank with the 8 coils in there. 8 coil pre-built. And you can see on there, you can see the information right there. It's going to tell you. Juice makes it a little bit hard, but it's a 0.15 ohms that'll go between 50 and 260 watts with a recommended of 120 to 180. You can see that amazing airflow. You can see right through it. That's one of the things I like about it the best. The fact that you can see right through that airflow like that definitely helps out with the cooling of it and being able to take those big pulls with that maximum wattage like that. You can see the tip comes right off the top there, drops right down in there, and you can actually see the 4 coil barrels down in there a little bit. That goes right on the top there. It's just got a little O-ring that holds it in. To open it, you just put a little bit of down pressure on it. And see, my hand's going to be kind of in the way here. Takes a little bit of pressure once it's warmed up. But yeah, you put a little bit of down pressure on there. You can see it tells you the way to turn it right there. On the other end, you can see the little metal dowel that goes in there. That's what it's going to spin on. You just turn it right open like so. Then you can get in there for cleaning on the bottom if you'd like. You can see the groove that it fits in there. That's the actual mechanism that's going to hold it in there just by force of the pressure of this rubber piece right here, that grommet that sits in there. That's what's actually going to hold it on there. So for the first week or so, it's going to be a little bit tough to open and close it, at least in my experience, until it gets a little bit of wear on that rubber and it'll go back and forth a little bit. Might even help if you put just a little drop of juice on there and move it around to make it glide back and forth a little bit easier. But it's an easy filling system. You can see that slot down there in the bottom. That's where you're going to fill it up, and it's really easy. Like with these mint and vapor bottles, you can see the tip there. The tip will fit in it just perfect. And it is rubber, so it does move around. You can actually expand it a little bit. If you're using a different type of drip bottle that has a bigger tip on there, it does push in there. Go ahead and close that back up. It is top fill only. The tank comes apart really easy. This whole top will just screw off here. I'm not going to do that right now because I have juice in there. But you can just screw the whole top off of it and replace the coil really easy. Get in there and clean it very well. Like I said, there's a lot of room down there for the airflow. I've never had a problem with it leaking out with the pre-built coils, although I have not tried building my own coil on the rebuildable deck there. You can see the claptons that are in that rebuildable. Very well machined. Not sure the resistance on these yet either, but I'm pretty excited to try out that rebuildable deck. And it's really just going to be about how you wick this that makes it whether it's going to leak or not. You know, get used to it, figure it all out there, and yeah, check that guy out. So good machining. All fits in there smooth. The threadings feel really good. I haven't had any problems with it at all whatsoever. So there's that. It's the extra piece of glass it comes with. You know, you can always use extra glass in case you dropped one, braked one. You don't have to worry about wanting to order one before you can start vaping again, so that's a good thing to have. There's the other 4 coils. There's 4 coils inside of this guy, I believe, and it's pre-built. You can see it right there. It's also 0.15. 50 to 180 watts is what it can be pushed at, but it's suggested to go 90 to 150. That's what they suggest you vape it at for optimal flavor and cloud production. So that's also another very well machined piece. You can see the airflow through there. I'll let you know how that one goes. Although I am more of a heavy vapor, I like the wattage and I like the cloud production up to a certain point, so I'll be interested to see how this does. But so far it's looking good. Got the bag of spare parts there. You can see the different O-rings in there. You got that white piece that goes up on the top to replace the other one in case that rips or gets bad. You got the drip tip adapter that can go right on the top right here. This just pops out. It's got an O-ring in there. And yeah, push that back in. Sits right in there, no problem. Haven't had a problem with it falling out. You got all the extra screws in the bottom there for your rebuildable deck. And that's pretty much everything you're going to need to keep this thing running and going good. Then it of course comes with your Allen key for the rebuildable deck. Got that right there. That's always a nice thing to toss in, so you don't have to worry about that. I noticed that a lot of different kits, like the rebuildable kits, like the Coil Master and stuff like that, come with one, but they don't always fit the different different RDAs and tanks, and so that's a nice thing for them to just toss in there. I mean, it's a great value for what you're getting out of this thing. You know, you can see that's the box it comes in, kind of inserts and where it sits in down in there, and just kind of everything that's what you get out of it. The h-priv, when I got it, I bought mine separately, so it didn't actually come with the mod. But this is it's a great mod. You know, you can see my battery's a little low right now, and it's a little bit hard to keep the screen clean, but that's okay. The other thing I've noticed is if you get the white, expect there to be some scratching. You can see that there. It's that's just from everyday use. I'm generally pretty careful with these, but you do carry them around with you if you do vape, and so that's just what's going to ultimately end up happening. It scratched it a lot easier than my X Cube 2 that I had, and I wasn't too worried about it, but it's something to keep in mind when you get this. It is upgradable. You can see the USB port in the bottom. It's for upgrades only. Don't try to charge it through that. It's not made to charge two 18650s. See the battery door right there. My Samsung batteries that I keep in there. There's that right there. You can see those. I have them all marked because I always run them in pairs, so that you can see the ones on there, so that I always know what's going with where. And this little door right here is magnetic, and you can see the two magnetic dots down there. It tells you on here which way the batteries go, and you can see the back end of that. It also tells you as well as the magnetic dots in the middle. You just kind of put it on there and then push down and slide her in. This thing is a little bit tougher than the other ones too, but it just slides in like that. Alright guys, well thanks for checking out the video. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be reviewing some other things in the future here. Really cool. I got a really cool new piece in, which is the Hammer of God, and it's like a big brick that holds 4 18650 batteries with a Mason 40mm RDA on top. Just for a little sneak peek there, that's the box the Mason comes in. It's just a beast of a RDA. And a little sneak peek at the mod here. You can see the mod with the RDA on the top of it. Wait to check out that guy. It's an unregulated 4 18650 mod with a 40mm deck on top. Yeah, it's quite the beast. And you can see the LED display over there. for the amount of volts you're pushing out, and I'll put a video up on that soon. Definitely a cool piece to check out, and I can't wait to do a review on that so some people can figure out some more information. First, on the Hammer of God, there's a few videos out there, but there's not near as much on the actual Mason 40mm RDA itself. So I definitely wanted to get that, show people how I got it set up and how it works for me. Alright, take it easy.